And welcome to One Stop Co-op.
Happy New Year!
Hi, everybody.
I'm sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
Yeah, you ruined Steve's professional intro, guys. Jeez.
Very professional.
You guys are nuts. It's been crazy just sitting here listening to this. It's been insightful.
Yeah, welcome. This is our let us know audience balance because we're tweaking that a little bit here.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of us here today. We've got 6 people, 6 of us, and we're gonna be going over a bunch of categories, going over the game of the year for 2022. And we have a bunch of different categories, and we each have our list completed. So we're gonna talk through the list.
Wait, we need a list?
What? What's a list?
Did you all know?
I wrote it on a coaster before we started.
Oh, wait,
Did
hold
you
on.
get
I
the
think it's
sticky
on my...
note?
I got it.
Oh my god.
You put it on your forehead.
Yeah. That was like Hanabi. You all can see it and I can't.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6 times the people, 6 times shenanigans for sure.
Oh,
Cool.
sorry, I'll be good. My fault.
You can hear them? I can't hear them.
I'll turn up a little bit for you. There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you don't want to hear us, Kim. You're
Yeah. Dude, you hear enough of me like once a month.
That's right. That's right.
Cool. Okay, so we got 6 different categories. We each have picks for all the stuff. And Kim, this is your first time doing a end of the year list.
No, it's not. Is it?
Yeah.
No. I've done other lists.
Not end
I'm
of the
gonna
year
go
list,
yes.
have you?
I vote. Yes. I'm gonna go for yes.
That's fine. Well, here we go.
We'll bigger this entire time.
We will.
Okay.
As normal.
Okay. Go.
Okay, so let's start this off. So, first category we'll go through is Hidden Gem. So, this is a game that you guys really liked, and maybe it didn't get all the attention you thought it deserved, but you want to give it more visibility here. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to pick someone random to go, and after you go, you guys can pick someone else. But I figure we'd do like a quick 2-minute spiel on the game, what you like about it, and we'll just keep going. So
This isn't formal. at
No,
all.
it's not formal.
You guys are just gonna go off. I know it.
So, Mike, why don't you start with yours?
My hidden gem?
Hidden Gem. I
My
can tell you what
hidden
it is.
gem is it's so hidden you probably can't buy it or find a copy anywhere, which is unfortunate because it's great, and that's Isla and Something Shiny. This is Steve, I think, did a video back when it was on crowdfunding. I did a video of the final version. I will warn you, it looks like it's a friendly kids game, and it kind of is. I played it with both my 7-year-old and my 10-year-old, but it's got some some weighty things going on in the whole story. There's some freaky parts, so I might like play it solo first before I bring it in for the children. But it has a core mechanic sort of similar to Paleo in that you're going through a deck over, like, you keep on going through the same deck multiple times, but things are being taken in and being taken out based on your choices. It's got beautiful art, a very evocative story told pretty much just through art with very little text, except for like these little kind of like comic books you have to introduce and close out each chapter. It's a narrative game, so theoretically you could like kind of see a lot of the stuff it has to offer in one play, but between playing it myself to see all the endings and playing it with my family, I played it like 8 times. And yeah, I mean, I love Paleo, so it wasn't tough for me to like the mechanics, but I think the art, the story, I think it's just a beautiful game overall. And it's a hidden gem because, again, I don't know if they're going to print anymore. So you pretty much like have to find somebody who already has it and get a copy. Or, I mean, the nice thing is once people finish with it, theoretically, they wouldn't need to hold on to it. So you could probably find like some more copies for sale or for trade as time goes on. But I love this one. This is one of my top ones of the year for sure.
Good choice. I like this one too. It's very solid. You might have played this a long time ago.
I did play this with you.
Yeah.
I played this game.
I don't remember. I remember the art, the name. I remember I played it, but that is it. So
that was my reaction too. Hidden gem, everybody.
Hidden gem.
I already forgot it.
It needs more love. That's what Mike's saying. Okay.
It's a good choice. Very good choice. Who do you pick for your next person, Mike?
Oh, is that how it works? Is this like, oh God, I'd say Canje.
Okay. I missed out on Island Something Shiny. I have looked for it and I can't find it, and I've heard it's a great game. So my hidden gem game is actually Spire's End Hildegard.
Oh.
I like adventure path in games. It's not the top genre for me, but it's a pretty good genre that I enjoy mostly. And I met Greg Favreau, who was the creator of this a while ago, from when he first created Spire's End, and I've like loved the art. I love the story. I love like how terrible I am at dice rolling, and it's a very small game. It's a small game, small table space. You can take it as travel size, and you can just have some fun with it. And its replayability is high, so fun hidden gem for me.
Is its replayability high, Canje?
Yes, because when you start,
I know how it works. I'm just disagreeing with you.
Oh, I think it has high replayability. I think it
I'm
has
glad,
high
I'm glad.
replayability because you can go through the game once, and let's say you die. Your start can be completely different again because you got to pick one of the 3 cards, which takes you on a completely different path. So I think it has. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's going to. It's not one of those games that's going to last like 10 years, but I think like you'll get your money's worth out of it
For sure.
This is Mike. Yes, you're wrong. This is not right.
I 100% disagree.
Well, I mean, he can feel free to disagree with me all he wants. It's my hidden gem.
I do agree with you that it branches a lot later. The first 3 cards just give you like a different item at the start. That's it.
Also, well, no, it gives you a different pathing too.
Right.
Yeah. I can prove that to you very simply. It's either one, you will meet the hooded guy at the beginning who tries to steal the package.
Oh yeah, I do
two,
remember
you
that.
won't.
Okay. Fair
So there it goes. So person I'll pick on is Bairnt.
Me? Well, first off, I'd like to congratulate Mike for reminding me that I forgot to tell him that it came with plushies. His Alien something shiny. Did you get the plushies with that?
I did not. I got.
Oh, really? Your kids didn't want to fight over the plushies and throw them at each other? And
No, I bought somebody's pledge. I don't remember who it was now.
Okay.
I think it's somebody on our Discord, so they didn't have the plushie, or they already took it and gave it to their kid, probably.
Well, yeah, that's why I did. So my hidden gem is actually Cora Quest. This was a fantastic game. This is one that not only have we used at home, we've used at my wife's school as well to help introduce kids to cooperative gaming and show that kids themselves can create games. This is a game that was created by Dan and Cora together. I believe it was a COVID project they did. And they enlisted the group of kids to also help with some of the artworks and the stories and things like this as time went on. And it's kind of one-offs. It's one-off. So surprise in my campaign collection.
I know.
It's a one-off, but my kids and I have really enjoyed it. We've played through it all. We've already backed the new Kickstarters come through. And like I said, my wife, we had 2 copies because I did help with the original Kickstarter. She sent me one and we pledged one. So we actually donated one to my wife's school, and they've used it for their game group for quite a bit. And they have brought kids together that probably normally would not come together to play games. And I think that's one thing that really makes this a hidden gem, is how special it can be.
Designed by a dad and a daughter.
Yes,
Really
dad
cool.
and a daughter,
It's
Dan and
really
Cora.
cool.
It's a very
Correct.
cool concept. Really cool concept.
Yes. That's my hidden gem.
Go.
Pass it.
Oh, I got to pass it to somebody. All right, I'm going to pass it to Steve.
Thank you, Steve. As he points to me.
Oh, it's gonna be that night to tell you guys. Who's coming?
Bairnt, you're amazing.
So good.
So my hidden gem is a game that man, I've been playing a lot lately. It's got some nice little bit of deck building. It's got a really fun theme and just awesome artwork. It's Keep the Heroes Out, by Louis Brew. I don't want to say his last name. I apologize. I'm gonna screw that up. But he's a one-man wrecking crew. I think he did artwork, design, everything for this game. It's really fun. I really like this game. But I will mention that you kind of have to be okay with losing. It's tough. Don't be fooled by the artwork. It's a tough game. But the variety in this is awesome. You choose how it works is you're a faction, you're a monster faction, so you could be like a dragon or skeletons or witches, and you're protecting your hard-earned loot in your dungeon. And the heroes are the bad guys trying to steal it from you.
I saw someone earlier in a comment shout out, anything with loot would be your pick. And he kind of went through, I don't remember who it was.
Thomas,
but
right here.
Good call, Thomas.
Thomas, predictions. It says, best games, Colin, Oathsworn, because I can save civilians. Bairnt, Oathsworn, because I can make plans that get civilians killed. Steve, which game has the most loot? Because that's that one.
Exactly. So good call.
So yes,
Yep.
not far off there, Thomas. So,
Yep.
that's mine. I keep the heroes out. Really big fan of that one.
Yeah.
Let's pass it to Colin. How about you go, Colin?
All right, well that's unfair because my hidden gem was also keep the heroes out. Granted, I was ridiculous and put 2 games, so we don't have to talk about keep the heroes out. It's a great game. The other one though, I played with Steve when he came up here for the Con of the Rings, and we had a blast. It's called Paint the Roses. I didn't even back the game. Ended up finding a secondhand copy. Steve and I played it, and it was actually, you know who's the best at that game? This guy right there. If you want to have someone who gives you the wrong clue, then changes it to the right clue, then changes it again to the wrong clue,
But then brings it back to the
but then
right
puts
clue.
it back to the right clue. That would be this guy, and then of course changes and explodes your mind.
Especially when they say, "Well, it can't be blue and
Yeah.
red."
And he's looking at it, he goes, "My card's blue and red."
Mm.
Oh! So in this game, what you're doing is you're working together to try and complete cards that are in your hand. You're trying to get your teammates to guess what's in your hand.
Unless you're with me,
Then yeah, he's playing his own
Listen to
game. It's a
Bairnt.
competitive game. Very
Yeah,
normal.
yeah, exactly. He's trying to win. He's like, you're never gonna guess this. Ha ha ha.
I mean, it's just like playing Osworn with him. It's semi-co-op, okay? You know, he's trying, but really he's not. Okay, so, but anyways, in the game, what you're trying to do is just help your teammates figure out the card in your hand, what the 2 symbols are. And what's fun is that even when you're not the one playing the tile on the table, you can still put clues on it based upon if any of the adjacent symbols will match your card. And that's really cool because it doesn't even matter whose turn it is most of the time. When someone puts something down, everyone's putting clues and you're all discussing, you're trying to figure out whose is which one. Anyways, it was so much fun. I love it. That's Paint the Rose. It's a very interesting deduction game.
Yes,
And
I was banned from taking any but the easiest clues.
yes, yes, because that was one of the hard ones. And after that, he didn't get to do that anymore. But yeah, it was a blast. That's Paint the Rose.
True.
All right, you want me to round it out?
You're gonna round it out, Kim.
Just throw that box cover right back on. There you go.
Oh.
Roses. Yeah, Colin.
All right.
Exactly.
I like it.
We're like this. We're the same person. I just cut and paste what you said. And then the other thing I really liked about it was the fact that this game, I think I can get more people to play that aren't specific gamers. So like I can get my parents to play this one, and I don't know, it's more inviting, I would think, than like a RPG that I might want to throw on the board or whatever it is. So I think it's a great one to have in the collection. So
Good.
yeah,
I love it too.
The
somewhat.
chat is amazing tonight, by the way, and they're absolutely on fire in there. It's amazing.
The hidden trader mechanic and Paint the
There
Roses.
Totally there. It's totally there.
There's-
Bairnt knows it.
And I just like,
That was fun.
Yeah, we played that.
you guys are all amazing. It's good to have all you guys here.
Yeah, I was introduced to it by Steve and Kim at Game Palooza, and it was fun. I played terribly, but it was fun.
Some of those times I could not trust what you were saying. And I'm like,
We won.
The same heart right here. I'm seeing 2 people with the same heart, you know?
We're never going to win that game. We're neither of us are going to write clues down.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's keep going. Let's move on to the next category. We're going to biggest disappointment. And Kim, you went last, so you picked the first person to go for this category.
do I even have one?
You don't have one yet.
I don't have a disappointment. I
So
think that's kind of me. So I'll start.
Well, no, you gotta pick someone.
Well, no, I'm going to talk about not having a disappointment.
Oh, that's
and
fine.
Then...
There you go. That works.
Give me my screen time.
Yeah, she picks herself. She can do it.
So,
Come on.
we've
Or she says biggest disappointment. The whole time she's pointing towards Steve.
Disappointment. Playing games with this guy.
I made a terrible decision.
Oh man.
No, but I think we've talked about it. I play games, and like if I play it once, that's fine. I typically don't nitpick too much about games. I'm not as analytical as the rest of you guys went about games. So that's why I'm just more like la-di-da. But so yeah, nothing stood out at me, but I also don't play as many games as the rest of you to pull from. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say.
Cool.
So I'm gonna go, Steve.
You want me to go?
My loving husband.
Woo!
Awesome.
So I'll pick my biggest disappointment. It isn't a. I'll preface this. It's not a bad game, for sure. It was just I had high expectations and I didn't meet them. Let's put it that way. And that one is going to be because I'm a big sucker for stealth games. I was really excited for this one, and that is Burn Cycle. Like, the game itself is good, but like, I wanted the stealth to be more than what it was. It's fine stealth. It's fine. But there's like, if I want to play a stealth game, this is not one I'm gonna grab for the stealth thing. If I want to play a cool like robot theme, I want to deal with the corporation thing. The theme is really cool, and I like the physical and network stuff. But I came into it thinking, ship theory games, stealth game, awesome, really excited, and then it didn't deliver for me, unfortunately. So
That's okay.
yep,
Totally.
it's okay. This is gonna be one of the sad categories talking about.
Maybe I should have gone last, where everything's all roses sometimes.
So that is mine. Let's move ahead to Colin.
I thought Bairnt raised his hand.
Oh, Bairnt want to go?
Oh, I was just playing the drums.
Oh, play drums, gotcha. Colin, you can go.
Okay, so I'm gonna blame this one 100% on Mike. So
good.
Mike,
I
it's
thought you were
your
blaming
fault
on me.
because I was really excited for this one. Bill painted the whole thing for me. I played it 8 times and I got rid of it as fast as possible as I could because I just did not love it. And that was Townfolk Tussle. I was super excited about it, but for some reason it just did not connect for me. And I don't. I think I was so excited about the terrain and all this stuff, and you never really seemed to use it. I was really excited about the items, but then it was like you only wanted certain items because most of them stunk anyways. And then I felt like some of the bosses were just easy runovers, and the other ones, like the water guy, would just annihilate you. And and for some people, it's great. Oh, and then the final thing too was that I don't love games where they decide that they can't have it be a fully cooperative experience. And so they have to slide in this little competitive thing of, oh yeah, you want to become the lead sheriff. And it never worked when I played it with anybody else or with myself. Anyways, that one, although I loved the art and I loved the idea of the game, it just didn't work for me. And that was Townfolk Tussle.
It was such a big disappointment. I didn't even get to play it with you.
I know. I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's totally fine.
But that was for me.
I have a question though. On that, when you're saying it's forcing you to do competitive nature, could you house rule it where ignore that, or does that actually impact the game?
You could even take the cards out, but that's taking out a third of the personal objective cards, right? I think is what they're called, right? Because they had ones in there where it's like, purposely missed or something. I can't remember what they are at this point. But yeah, you could definitely take them out. They had a way to make it fully cooperative for sure. But it just felt like they wanted you to have that in there. And so because of that, and they spent time doing that, they didn't do other cool things like making you actually use the terrain for the cool pieces.
It's kind of like those Gloomhaven cards, right? The like personal objectives.
The personal objectives. Those ones were, I don't know why, but I didn't feel as bad about those ones.
I never felt bad picking up as much treasure as I thought.
Yeah. We always had the scoundrel walking around picking them all up as everyone else was doing the damage. But yeah, anyways, you definitely can still play it fully co-op. And you can even remove the cards, but it just didn't. It just felt like they could have done something else with that, which would have been really cool. And instead they spent their effort doing that, which I didn't love.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Bairnt. I'm gonna have you.
Oh,
go
you
next.
did that? You're so nice.
Yeah.
I might get that back just in time.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
So
you won't.
my biggest disappointment, sadly, is something I was raving about for when I got it. I was super pumped for this game. I even got like annihilated on the channel for how excited I was for this game, and it's called Bard Song. I thought
Mike's laughing.
Mike, that was intense.
Well, because like Bear was talking about how great it was, I was like, man, I just read a review and it wasn't very positive. And then I read another review and it wasn't very positive.
So much potential in this game. There's so many things that I thought could happen in this game. I really like the character, like development, the cards, all that kind of stuff. You're going. It just problem is out of the box. This game is not going to work. Unless you house rule it, because like you have to play against the same enemies like 19 times in a row. You finally get to the boss and he's just a bigger version of the bad guys, and I'm just kind of like, okay, that's kind of cool for the first one, but then I looked and started paging through some of the storybook and I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna make me fight these 3 dudes over and over again for like 10 missions. I'm like, okay, the story's little, it's there, and sometimes a story, you need the story to make it good, sometimes you don't. This one kind of needed a story to really keep you going. And so at some point you could just almost house rule, just kind of do the one and done part thing of it and go to the next mission. But then you're not getting the experience or the gold and stuff you're supposed to need to keep your characters leveled to the point where the monsters are. So much potential. I even painted some of it. Usually, in case people don't know, some of the signs of whether or not I'm really into a game is if the game's painted. I have painted, played with great minis. That usually means the game is on the way out the door.
Yes.
Sometimes I even painted this one. I was super excited. I just wish it had more. I just think I think I was let down. I like the idea of it's going to have like the being able to have this map just expanding around you, but then even the tiles would run into each other. And you're kind of like, well, what's going on here? It had the Shadow of the Brimstone type feel to it. I was really hoping to have that feel again in this game, but maybe an upgrade. But nope, Shadow of Brimstone's still better, way better, and it really still will be. So Bard song, so sorry, need to sing a better tune.
Ooh.
Nice.
Nice one there. He's a father.
The eye nose.
the eye nose. Like, we passing it to.
Oh, I gotta pass it. We'll go to Canje.
My biggest disappointment was Etherfields.
Hmm.
I had such high expectations for this game. There was the dream world. There was this moving around dreams, the puzzle aspect of having to turn cards. Everything sounds so cool on paper. And then it arrived, and I opened the rule book. And after I've already told y'all my struggles with rule books, but after wading through this miasma of a rule book, I got to play the first game, and I was like, okay, cool, we're in the dream world. What the hell is okay? So I move here. Okay, I gotta get a key from here. I gotta buy a shop here. Oh, look, something killed me. I gotta start over. Goes back here. Let's walk through this piece. Let's go back through here. Good gravy. Okay, I got 3 keys. Please let me play your game. And then I got into the dream, and it was fun. But everything else outside of that dream is ugh. And so then they said they'll redo the rule book. They heard people talking, and they said that they'll add a mode where you could do dreamless sleep, they called it, where you don't have to go in the dream world. And they shipped it. And you still have to go in the dream world. And there is no dreamless sleep. There's just more pain. And so I was like, I'm done. And I sold this. So this did not land for me. It was a huge expectation, but I had high expectation for it, but it fell flat.
I didn't sell this one. I use it for D&D minis.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's a good use of the minis for them.
And I haven't tried it since the new stuff's come out, but I still have it.
Yeah.
Don't, he says.
Don't.
Just leave it on the shelf. Just leave it on the shelf.
He read the rule book when he got COVID. He was reading the rule book and he was messaging me. He was calling me. He was like, "This game looks great, Colin. I can't wait to play it." I'm like, Bairnt,
I had
no.
the energy
Bairnt.
of a sloth at the time.
I can tell this is going to be wonderful. This game's
Well,
terrible.
hey, that makes sense.
Hilarious.
You can only read the rule book in delirium, and then that's how they wrote it. It was part of the theme, you losers.
I just will never
man.
forget it. I will never forget him messaging about how great the rule book was.
That rule. Anyway, I'll pass it to Mike. I'll pass it to Mike.
I'm getting like more and more out of Zoom in here, but okay, yeah, my there I am. My biggest disappointment, sorry, Canje, is Fire's End Hildegard. So I never played the original Spire's End, and
Okay.
from the comments, I get the sense that it has a little, like it's
Yes.
more enjoyable if you kind of know that one,
Yeah,
like some
yeah.
connections there.
Yeah.
I'll totally agree with you that it's got amazing art. Love the art. The world building is kind of cool. The story, such as it is kind of interesting. The branching is pretty good. The thing that really killed this one for me the most, and made my son totally stop playing it with me. So when you have a combat system in a narrative-heavy game, I think you got to do one of two things. You got to have it give you some interesting choices, or you got to have it be fast. The double death for me for this kind of game is a combat system that takes friggin' forever and has zero choice or mitigation whatsoever, except for like every once in a while you can spend one of these points that are really hard to save up.
The feats,
Yeah,
the feats of
the feats.
marksmanship.
Great. Yeah, you get like one of them. Awesome. You got one feat.
Kanji's trying to defend it so hard.
And then, oh my gosh, like, not to spoil much, but like in between certain chapters, you have to do like the same fight every time. And it's like the longest, stupidest fight I've ever played. I'm like, this is great. Let's do it. It reminds me a lot of okay, slight spoiler. Bairnt and Colin know what I'm talking about. Remember in Sleeping Gods when like something happens and every time that happens, you have to do a really long, drawn out fight.
Yes.
And I think you all started skipping that fight after a while, right?
Skip it.
Yeah, that's where I was for Spire's End. I was like, hey, and at some point I was skipping every fight. I was like, well, maybe this isn't a great game if I'm skipping.
That's fair. That's fair.
So anyway, but yeah, I mean the art and the size and the branching is all fun. But yeah. And the thing is, you people watching might not know this about me, but I get so many review copies. It's very rare for me to be like, I'm gonna pledge this game I've never heard of or played before. So I pledged this one myself, got it, played it with my son, was super hyped. Wasn't that great. I played it myself like 3 or 4 more times solo. Yeah, and it just never worked for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is perfectly fine. I think that it'll be a hit or miss for people. I don't think there's a gray area in between for this one. It's either you're gonna like it or you won't. And so I love to see like, the differences in that stuff.
Yeah, and even like in the comments on my review, there are people who love Spire's End who are like, this is way worse than Spire's End, and there are people who love Spire's End that say it's just as good or better. So yeah, I mean, opinions are what opinions are.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. I think that's going to end the biggest disappointment category.
I thought you were going to say the stream. You're like,
Yeah.
it's cut
Yeah,
off.
the stream is done. Now we move on to the fight section of it. So
Yeah.
first on the ring.
Fight. What fight?
No, that's kidding. No, moving on from biggest disappointment to biggest surprise. And Mike, you get to pick the first victim for this one.
Well, Kim didn't really like do a game for the last one. So Kim, what was your biggest surprise of the year?
What was my biggest surprise of the year? What did I put? Where am I looking? Oh, Deep Rock Galactic. That one surprised me because I didn't think it was a game for me. When Steve told me about it, he was like, yeah, you're mining and you're gonna fight bugs. And I was like, ew. So I was not very excited about it. I didn't know
Steve
the
knows how to
IP.
sell a game. Yeah,
I didn't
you're
know
mining
the
and there's
background or
bugs.
where it was coming from. But then I got there and I couldn't chop a damn wall. And
Tell me about it.
like,
Tell me about it.
it was just great. I had a very fun time playing it, and I was surprised. And I'm looking forward to when we do receive it because I want to play some more. But yeah, again, it was just because the theme didn't grab me, but I actually really liked it. So it was a good time. But that I remember that wall.
It's recorded in our. It's the second video we have. Preview
Is it
video.
the second one?
Yeah, you couldn't destroy. It took 4 actions to destroy a wall,
Somebody did.
and it's a 1 in 6 chance to miss.
Yeah.
1 in 6 chance to miss.
The probability of it was stupid. And the fact that it still sticks with me, I think speaks to like the amount of fun we had in the game.
It was so fun.
So I think that
fun.
just being able to pull those memories from like this game or any other game that you play with, I think speaks volumes to the impact that it could have on you. So
Yeah.
super excited for this to hit our table again when it delivers.
Yep. Cool. Who you can pick for your next victim?
Canje.
Canje.
Yeah.
Biggest surprise. I got to look at my list. Well, biggest surprise, Marvel United.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
Good choice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I stayed away from season 1. I didn't even know about a season 2 campaign, and I was like, "Oh, chibi minis." And then Steve was like, "You should try the game out."
And look where
So
you
I
are
tried
now.
the game. So I tried the game out, and then 15 plays later, then 100 plays later. This game is it's amazing. So it's great to play with your kids. It's a really great game to play with your kids. It's a really game to play really quick. So it just, I don't know, it was just fun. I enjoyed it. That's my big surprise.
Cool.
Good choice.
So let me go to Bairnt.
Me. Oh, my biggest surprise. I have, okay. I'm going to attempt to pronounce it. Please be gentle. Land of Galza.
Galzier.
Galzier.
This was my surprise. I got this game thinking, oh, okay, it'll be a nice little adventure game. It'll be kind of fun. I was actually surprised at actually how good this was. The stories are actually pretty nice to play. It's quick to set up. And not only that, you actually are done. You can be done, and usually it's about 7 or 8 turns. You're kind of done. You can pack it up. You had a nice little adventure, and that was it. And it persists, and you can play it with anybody whenever you want to. It's not like something I have to be like, oh, I'm sorry, Colin, we got to reset the game to 0. He can just jump right in and play. It's just, I was really surprised at just how easy this was to play and get to the table. I've been able to just play it, and all of a sudden my son can just come in and play the next one with me and be done, and the kids go to bed, and my wife can jump in. We can play again and just keep on going. The stories that were happening, I thought, were actually very entertaining. I didn't have any problem with them. And it's a simple dice check system that works. It works pretty fun. And you get like if you do well, you get things. If you don't do well, you get bad things. There might be a little bit of a kind of downward spirals at some point, but if you fail too many in a row, sometimes get a little harder. But also you get cards that sometimes make it easier. So it'll kind of bounce around. I like this one. This was a big surprise. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. Colin, how about you?
Okay, well, keeping with my too many games, I actually picked 2 games. So
Colin, I gotta tell you, when you sent that to Steve,
I was
he
told
did
not
say,
to again.
what the heck? I gave directions.
Did I just see Bairnt throw a tantrum?
all on from Steve saying you can pick more than one game, so I thought that meant I was supposed to pick more than one. For this one, 7.
I didn't
For this
get that
one,
polo.
well, you weren't paying attention.
Steve's on my naughty list.
I will go at 2.0 speed, okay? 2.0 speed. All right, first one is Return to Dark Tower, right? Yes, Return to Dark Tower. Okay, this game, I was thinking it was just going to be a total, just kind of a fluff game where you just put the tower out. Oh, it's fun. Put the things down and whatever. This is actually good. I've played that now with my kids at least 12 times, and Connor loves it. I mean, just the choosing the cards to flip over for the enemies and getting to pick it together. It is super fun. You've got your push your luck. Do I want to keep going when you're going against the boss? You've got all the different bosses, all the different foes, you only have 6 heroes with the expansion, but you've got all these different things you can combine for a unique experience. If somebody had a really fun experience too, you can find their little game code, put it in, and you can use their combination, and then you can compare how you did and all of this stuff. I'm super impressed with this game. The only kick to this one is it's 2 hours long minimum. I mean, with 2 people, it's still 2 hours long. And so I wish it could just be even 30 minutes faster. But otherwise, I was surprised on that one. Okay, second one. And this is because of this guy right here. I have never really been into the aliens world, right? But we played Nemesis Lockdown.
Step into my parlor.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that game. And then I played it solo on my own. And I played it with my wife. And anyways, that game's fun. I haven't found a game that no matter what provides you tension with every move, because you move, you got to roll for that noise. You spend the 2 cards to move quietly. You still got to place the noise. You always have this, tension in it. And I love that. And there's a lot of games where you ramp up and then it's kind of you coast to the end, or you never really get that tension. This one, you have it every step of the way. And I love that. And I love that when the aliens come and you hit them, you have no idea what their health is. Oh,
I got that, Steve? He
I know
likes
Steve
that.
doesn't love that.
I don't like it either.
I'll never live that down.
I want more games like that. I love that I don't know. I love that I don't know how much health they have. How am I supposed to actually know that? I hit them once. They have 3, but I only did 2 damage. Hit them next time. Well, this time they have 5 health, so I still didn't kill them. That's so cool. Oh, anyways, I loved that game. I couldn't believe how much I enjoyed it. So those are my 2 of whatever I just said. Biggest surprise. And I think it's over to you, Steve.
Is it me? Okay.
You're proud.
Oh, yeah, I
I'm
haven't
proud
done
of
yet.
you.
That's right. Okay.
He just named you.
I know. Okay,
Well,
so
thank you.
I'm going to echo what Kim said for one of them.
Ooh.
Deep Rock Galactic.
Did you break your own rule?
I broke one rule. Yeah.
Hypocrite.
I know.
What rule do you break?
What rule did you break? Did you only have 1?
No, it's not only one. Just like keep it, 1 or 2 is fine. But there's
Okay.
one later on this list. You'll find Colin's one had some fun. So we'll
What?
see.
What are you
All
talking
right,
about?
Look at that. Anyway,
Did you-
Deep Rock Galactic. I agree with you. I knew nothing of the video game. I just saw the board game. It looked cool. Well, I wound up playing it. Wound up loving it. We played it multiple times a day
And then we had to pass it on to the next person
Yeah,
to play
for
with
like
it. We're
5 days in a
"No."
row, just play a bunch of it. We couldn't stop playing it. And then we passed it on, and then I decided, you know what, this was so fun. Let me check out the video game. Check the video game now. I'm loving the video game. I can't wait for this game to arrive. So it's supposed to be here any day now, really, shipping now.
wow.
Mhm.
But yeah, big surprise. Didn't know anything about it, and now I'm all in. I can't wait to see what they come next with it. It's got a really cool mechanic where you can like dig out the walls so you can change the terrain, the line of sight for you, and it's just a fun game. It's hard to describe. It's just really fun.
And Ryan's right. Our son had a great time, and
He
that
loved it.
that does have an impact on what hits the table is whatever
sure.
our son will play as well. Not to say this is a kid's game or anything
No,
like
no.
that, but you've been cultivating Caleb to be a board
Yep.
gamer since he was 2, so he'll play games.
Raising them right.
Yeah.
I'm all about management here in Rock and Stone. This is a great game. Love it. Can't wait for it. So the other one I'll mention real quick, and this was a big surprise because we previewed it and that was pretty good. And then you were like, let's check. They offered a review copy, so okay, let's give it a chance to look at the actual game because I know on TTS we had some troubles with the mod working.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Do the thing.
Do the thing. That's Skyrim. So, we played this game, and when you look at how it plays, it seems very basic to say the least. Like you move to this point, you roll some dice, you move on, right? But the quest deck is so good in this game. There's so many stories and branching paths, and we've had so many adventures, and I've replayed this a ton of times, and I've only seen the same quest or storylines a couple times.
I am still the Thane of Winterhold. I
Yep.
just want to make sure everybody knows my proper title.
You
I like this game. However, and I mentioned this before, Steve, where I wish it had more collaboration.
Yes.
Like you kind of go off on your own, so it's not really a cooperative game that
It could be more cooperative.
Yeah, it could
I
be.
agree.
It could
I agree. That's my definitely comment for this as well. But like, it was a surprise to me how much I actually enjoyed this. And go ahead.
Yeah, the board game versus the first pass on tabletop, like that tabletop did not work for me.
Yeah, it didn't work for me
was
either.
so bad for me. It was such a turn off.
But yeah, we're gonna bring this one back to the channel. We liked it that much, so it'll be coming probably next week
Mhm.
actually. So yeah, big fan of that one.
coming to this channel.
Okay, Mike, you haven't gone yet, have you?
I've not.
Let's
Oh,
you can
sorry,
do
Mike.
yours next.
All right, so but by the way, Colin, I don't know what you're talking about with Nemesis Lockdown. I look at you and I know you have 13 hit points.
13, heck yeah! I'm way better than Billion.
You're like a level 2 fighter out here, man. Let's go. So my biggest surprise of the year is ISS Vanguard. And I got to kind of explain this one a bit. So right around when this was on like crowdfunding was maybe a little bit after I had, first put Tainted Grail as my #1 game of the year. And then, and then someone famously like called it very soon afterwards after I got bored with the grind. It wasn't my #1 game anymore. So I was like, oh, it's sort of like anti-Awakened Realms kick. And then like, I feel like this one was launching like I previewed Stars of Ikarios and really enjoyed that. And then like Colin was talking about how great not Unbroken, Unsettled was. And like that one was amazing. I was like, well, who needs ISS Vanguard? I was like, this looks stupid. This is gonna be dumb. So it was less that like I didn't know about it, and then I was surprised. It was more like I expected it to just not be good or to be like overwrought, and was surprised. So yeah, I think this one is great. I do think like it has some mechanical weak points. The planet exploration is not always amazing. The ship management can be a little bit repetitive sometimes, but the storyline behind it, kind of like the sum of its parts, the sort of XCOM stylish like management and upgrading of your ship and your lander and your crew and your like cart, all the stuff. I just really got super into this one. I've only slowed down because Peter and Jerry are liking it a lot too, like my main gaming groups, and now we're slowly working through the campaign along with like the 15 other campaign games that we're working through and we'll finish one day.
What are you talking about?
But this is one of the ones like we're even like, before we start Frosthaven, let's finish ISS Vanguard. And that's saying something, you know what I mean? So this one, I didn't expect much, and it actually was really, really great, at least for me.
We're good.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Mike,
Cool.
you're making me want to play it so bad.
That's
It
on
hurts.
my that's on my list under games I wish I could have played more to actually rate
Actually-
on these.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was lucky enough to get like an early copy, so I've been playing it
I
longer
only
than
played the
most
intro
people.
stuff, so I didn't feel well enough to be able to put that anywhere.
I read the intro. That's all that I did, and watched it.
Cool. Let's move on to the big category everyone's waiting for.
Did everybody do their?
Yeah, everyone did it.
Okay.
Game of the year.
Oh, I thought it was upcoming game not launched.
I know. Come on. What is this?
He's just giving out the Emmy right now.
Stick around for this other part.
Stick around afterwards.
So, Mike, who are you gonna pick to start?
I mean, I feel like I know at least one, if not two, people who will have the exact same one as other people. So I don't know. Canje, I'm not sure what you're gonna pick. Go ahead. Game of the year.
What? You know what I'm gonna pick.
I mean, I kind of know what you're gonna pick, but I'm not as sure.
I have two. So the first one.
I had two.
How does it make you?
The first one is Oathsworn. Oathsworn is when this game was announced and I was watching Toby talk about the sculpting of the models and how he did his Twitch videos on that, and Jamie talking about the mechanics and whatnot, I was like, this game's gonna be a slam dunk. I wasn't gonna call it anything other than it's just gonna be amazing, it's gonna be fun. And I stayed hyped for it the whole time. And when it eventually delivered to me.
You were
because of a specific fulfillment company. But when it was delivered to me, I dove into it and I played it, and it was amazing. It is a boss battler. And I love the part where it was for people who don't like story and they just want to get into the boss battler. There's a skip ahead for that. Go fight the boss. Have fun at it. For people who want to be into the story, there's a side story that builds out a really great story up to those fights. And so that mix where it gave two different options. The each hero is different. I went to go playing full companions because managing 4 people can be tough solo. Hey, two people who play. When you're solo, it gets harder.
I can't imagine, Canje.
So, doing that and just the quality of the miniatures, each hero that I played so far, each Oathsworn has been different in their own way, and so it makes it my number one. This top. The other one that I picked is Marvel United. And a lot of people say, well, it delivered last year. And to me, it was, this is where Steve and I talked about it, because I was like, the content that made the game sell for me delivered this year. Which was all the season 2 bonus content, Sinister 6 stuff, which was season 1. But the good God, the Horsemen of the Apocalypse, the Sentinels, all this other stuff that builds out to really branch this game out and make it amazingly beautiful. And as you can see how much I love it, Steve, Kim, and I play it. We're doing our crossover campaign, and we're already on episode 40 of it and still going. So
are you serious?
I think that's pretty awesome.
40 games.
Oh my God. I didn't realize it was that much.
but that's how much. Hopefully, that's how much fun you're having.
It's a
with
good
it.
thing.
Is that,
yeah, it's a good thing.
Is that you didn't even realize how much we're playing it. So those were my 2 number ones. I'm actually going to shift it since Mike was last. I'm going to shift it back to Mike. Let me hear your number one.
Well, surprise, surprise! My game of the year is Spire's End Hildegard. It's not. It's also Oathsworn. Although I will say this was a very tough one for me. Like Oathsworn was battling with Isle on Something Shiny, and then like coming out of like dead last and just zooming up to try to take the first place heat, pedal to the metal. Like give me another month with that game, and that'll probably be my number 1 game of 2022. But I've only had it for like 2 weeks, and that seemed a little bit silly. But yeah, besides that, I'll just echo everything you already said about Oathsworn. It's beautiful. I actually wish the minis were like half the size, or I wish they'd sent me the standee version. Wah wah. That's first world problems there. I wish that it was like 1 box of game instead of like the 18 boxes that I think everything's stored in right now. But it's all at Peter's house, so not my problem. Not my problem. But yeah, I think the combat in this one is really great. I think the story is great if you want to dig into it, and if you don't, like Canje said, just zip on through TLDR. I'm on to the next fight.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a perfect game for me. There are I would most complain about items and leveling. I think both of those are a little bit weaker than I would prefer, but all the rest is excellent. So yeah, this one's awesome. And you know what? What the heck? Hey, Bairnt, what's your top game in 2022?
I picked Myth.
Yes, they did.
So they relaunched Myth this year, and so I had to put up.
Oh my god!
I've actually got two.
Well, you've got to. You were complaining.
I do have Oathsworn as my number one, as one of the ones, and I don't know how much more I need to say about this.
We don't need to
We
say
love it. The second one was Lockdown Nemesis, both coming out this year. These were my two number ones for this year. And again, I don't think I need to talk too much more about this one. I've done, 5 or 6 plays. There is a campaign that we didn't talk about for Lockdown, which they actually did right. It is a cooperative campaign if you wish to play it. It's really cool. The original one from the original Nemesis was awesome. The one from Aftermath was a hugest disappointment because it was not cooperative. It was competitive.
Oh, I didn't. Really I didn't play that one.
Really weird for a campaign when you're trying to do it. But, the game itself is semi-co-op. So in the end, I guess that kind of goes for it. So those are my two number ones. We should have just done it at once. We're going to 1, 2, 3.
Oathsworn.
I'm going to guess Colin's going to pick that one too.
How did you know?
I'm going to take a wild, heart attack and not surprised.
What else can I say? So my number one was Oathsworn. I mean, it's the game that I've probably played the most, had the most fun. I personally, although the story is incredibly dark, just experiencing it with Bairnt and reading on his channel too, and talking with it through people, has been phenomenal. I could see if you're playing it on your own, the story, you don't need to have the story, but man, when you were playing it with a group of people, reading through that story, making those tough decisions, I love that. I love that we try and save every civilian, and Bairnt tries to kill every civilian.
All right. Save all the civilians, the bad guys come after you.
Who cares? That's what we're here for. We're Oathsworn, man.
Bairnt, I killed so many too.
I didn't try to, but they all died in my play. I
like to do every time, and he kills them. He's like, "No, don't do that. Don't do that."
Oh, we got 18 refugees. How much food are we gonna feed them? 18. We only have 19. What are you doing?
I do love that you only have 6 health, so generally the combat is pretty tight too. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like you're way overpowered. Mm-hmm. We've only had a few scenarios where we felt like we kind of blew it out. Most of them come down with people 1 or 2 health, which is great. It gives you that opportunity of cards versus dice, but we just always use dice for us, cards for the boss. It's just easier. But I do like they give that. I feel like it's one of those it's a newer age game where it's giving you all these options and you can put in what you want, which is really cool. And I know that means it's a lot more for production, but it does mean that people can enjoy it from different levels. People who are crazy and want standees, Mike, go for it. You can have a standee.
I would prefer twigs and small rocks.
I had to think that you probably have loved that it's been on the same board the whole time, unlike, Sword and Sorcery getting the stupid tiles out or something. That's been nice at least. And you just get some trees and some walls and you're good to go. But yeah, what else can you say? Love the game. That's my number one.
You said a lot more than I thought you would have.
I'm sorry. I dug into a little bit. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. I love it. All right. Kim, I want to hear yours.
If you don't say Oathsworn, we're going to have to say one of these.
Why do we not get Oathsworn?
They don't have Oathsworn.
Because there was boss battler, giant minis, and huge boxes, and
you didn't want all that?
I didn't want all that.
Wait.
It's a fun game. It's a fun game.
But see, now this is making me want to play it more. I mean, because watching Bairnt and Colin in the madness is fun. But it's like, all right, I think this is something I'm going to have to try.
Well, I'll tell everyone watching, that's a rookie mistake. If you watch Bairnt and Colin play anything, you're like, I want to have that kind of fun too. You won't. They're lying to you.
So true.
We are not lying. Sometimes a stretch.
I'm so sorry for those birds.
Kim, I'll bring it next game of Palooza. You can try it.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
All right, Kim, we're sorry we interrupted.
I want to hear what your number one is really bad.
I'm pivoting because I didn't put this on the table.
She's calling it honorable.
Because I didn't consider it until Canje mentioned it. But if we're counting it, I would also say Marvel United. the extra stuff that came out this year. But I didn't think about it because I'm like, oh, it's an expansion. It's the same thing. But no, if we're counting it, this is it. Because we played 40 times or more. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I know we were chatting on the stream where, yeah, the base set is very kid friendly. But as you really get into it and the more complicated and extra things that they add, it just brings so much more value to the game. And I have a great time with it. So then I would say my runner up would be Marvel Zombies. And I think this is mainly because we play with Canje when he comes over for Gamepalooza. And it's a good time. I really love Zombie Side, but it can be so painfully long. And this is a nice, quick, I want to smash zombies in the face and be a superhero. So it's a lot of fun for me too.
Yeah.
So
I was surprised you like this one that much, but I definitely see it.
yeah, but it's like what I'm saying. As long as the group of people you're playing with is fun, then that brings more value to whatever game I'm playing.
Definitely.
If we played this Canje and we like had a terrible time, this would be in the trash and we wouldn't play it again. So like it's very dependent.
That's fair.
So,
Well, I have all the stuff coming, so that'll be making its way there to play.
yeah, right. It's the peach. I'm not gonna say that our beverage of choice doesn't have an impact during the but
That's fair.
maybe.
Yep. Good choices.
Did Steve
Pick
do
the
his?
last victim.
Steve, you didn't do yours,
I'm
did you?
supposed to pick.
Steve's gonna pick U-boat.
U-boat.
No, just me.
Love you.
Yeah.
Good.
See how she gets me all the time.
Sorry.
No, you don't matter. It's fine.
It's been 15 years.
Oh, no. Okay. I'll jump on my game of the year. So my game of the year is a game that I wouldn't have normally made it this high on my list, but it's hit so well for so many people. I've had so much fun with it. I have point as my game of the year, and that is Paint the Roses.
Yeah.
Yes. You got it.
Yes.
It is fantastic.
Yes.
It is.
It is so interesting how you can. It could be someone's turn in the game, but everyone is engaged during that turn because anyone can guess, and it's the deduction elements really great. The modules that have expansions put a fun twist on it. We brought us camping with us.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I came on a camping trip in the mountains.
Right, we brought it with us, and I introduced it to one of our friends, and literally after she played like once or twice, there's a 5-minute break. She's like, can we sneak in a game right now? I don't know how many times we played it with her. It must be like 10 times.
But this is what
Tell
I'm
them
saying,
the
where it's a
first-
good
tell them the
game
first
to
hit's free.
introduce people.
Yeah.
It's inviting, it's easy to pick up. Do read the rules and put your token on the right thing.
And Ryan has a good point here. It's really good for live plays because people watching live can actually guess.
Yeah.
You can actually participate in the gameplay while you're watching it, which is awesome. And people can drop in and out anytime, really. It's very flexible. So yeah, a lot of big plus for this one. This one has to be my game of the year.
Yeah.
So
Good choice. I would agree.
Great choice, Steve.
Good choice.
Yeah,
Really.
I thank y'all for introducing me to that one. That is a really fun game.
okay, we're moving along. So that was all the games that have come out this year. Now we'll talk about upcoming games. So in the upcoming categories. So first one, upcoming undelivered games. So this is something that we already know what it's about. We might have previewed it. We probably have backed it. It's coming along. It's coming to us, but it hasn't quite reached us yet. It'll probably be here like next year. But that's what this category is about. So, Mike, how about you start this one off?
Well, this is a game called Tainted Grail. And
Try again. Here
it
we
was,
go.
it was like my number one game of some year, like 2019 or something. And then it wasn't anymore. And now it is again, baby. Let's go. Tainted Grail, Kings of Ruin. Yeah, look at that pour. That's the only image I could find of it too, Steve. I wish they had a better picture of it.
I know, I was going to have a better one too.
Yeah, so I said this on my recent top crowdfunding video where it was my number one, but take all the great stuff about Tainted Grail because there's so much great stuff there, like really great exploration, excellent world building, really awesome narrative, like such cool, just like going around and finding things and like exploring these different locations. The combat system is really cool as long as it doesn't overstay its welcome. Kings of Ruin is like, hey, you know how we used to make you eat food every day? Nope, you don't need it anymore. Who cares? Oh, you know how it used to cost time to explore every single little thing? Nope, it doesn't cost time anymore. Just do it. Just explore the story. Go. You know, I used to fight combat like every second turn. Now you fight like every 5 or 6 turns. It's actually fun. Like you can go to my old like shelf life episode where I called it every complaint. I guess somebody was listening. They were like, nope, take that out of the game. Take that out of the game. Take that out. All that's left.
What about the Menhur lighting? That thing I hated.
That's gone too. That's gone too. That's gone too.
All gone.
Hey,
All
Oh
gone.
my God. It's all,
If you wanna
everything
go
is fixed.
somewhere
I'm not
to
even
the
kidding you.
Menhur,
Everything is fixed.
You can go where there's not a men here if you really want to. It might hurt you a little bit, but you don't even have to have the
Yeah, like you can just walk it like the yeah. So I don't even know if I'm getting a copy of it as a saddest thing. Like I might be like, yeah, I get but yeah, Data Girl Kids of Ruin. I'm so impressed with how they listened to the fans and kind of updated it, and I am ultra excited. But let's go. Let's wrap it right back to Steve. Just mess the order.
Okay, if you guys know me, this probably comes to no surprise because I've been waiting this game forever. So I'm gonna have 2 listed on here because of that reason. Obviously, Isofaring Guard. This game sings to me. We played this. We were fortunate to play the demo.
I'm changing my answer.
I'm jealous. I'm so jealous.
So this game is fantastic. Open world, really cool chip pulling system, gauging combat. The world has different regions where as you explore more, you learn that, hey, the wolves can be found in this region. I might need a wolf pelt to craft this item. There's like fishing in it, and it is awesome. A really good narrative. Like it's done by Fortello does narrative as well. Professionally done. It is fantastic. I can't wait for this to arrive. It's gonna be a huge box, but I'm really excited for this one.
Nice.
So that is upcoming. The other one that is similar in regard, and also can't wait to get, is Iridia.
Oh yes.
And we played this one.
Yes.
And, oh gosh, this one's so cool with how you have this global world where you can move around and you zoom into different areas with different boards. And as you interact with it, the board will remember your states and change, which is really, really cool. So this is not a spoiler. I'm totally making this up. It could be something like, I interacted with this cottage. At some point, I burned it down. Well, now I take a new map out, and it's got the picture of the burned cottage on there, which is really cool. Has NPCs where it gives you clues on how they speak and how they interact, so you can have some fun with role playing like that. And the combat has this interesting, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a natural dynamic in it, where if I'm swinging an axe, or it comes from a top down or sort of crossover. And so you have to like connect the dots on these enemies and cancel out the hit points, these hit zones to take them all out. So it's got a lot of cool things going for it. Really excited for this one as well. It's Iridia.
Yeah. So I'm saying this is like a DM-less D&D.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are both open world fantasy games.
Yeah.
Yep. Fully co-op.
I'm gonna go because I'm changing all my answers. So
I'm changing mine too, Kim. So we're gonna roll here.
yeah. I echo all that. Those I'm really looking forward to, but I think again because we had fun playing the first time, and I just want to see where it goes, and I hope that it holds that high level of expectation, because it's really built up. I mean,
Which one are you talking about?
Both of them.
Both of them. Okay.
But yeah, so Iridia and Isovarin Guard are really hyped, particularly and I'm hoping they deliver because he's. Oh, so I'm looking forward to those. The one that I actually put that I thought of that I want to again play more of and see more of is SAS. We did a demo of this relatively recently. My only gripe is I want them to put loot in this game and like be able to change my weapons and be a little bit more flexible in that sense. And if they do that, then I think this will hit a lot better for me. So I guess those are my 3 answers for what I'm looking forward to.
This one has a really cool sandbox too. I'm really excited to see how that works, where you can like build your own puzzles and kind of set up your own scenarios, which is I really enjoyed that type of stuff.
Yeah. So I'm hoping we'll see how it develops, because I want a little bit more than what we played with. So yeah.
Okay, good choice.
Pick your victim.
Bairnt, what do you got?
Me. All right, I didn't know about this category, so I'm going from the top here. So some of the ones I'm interested in coming soon, we're going to scratch all the itches here. We got Dawn of Madness is my horror game. I've got Seven Citadel coming. That's my adventure game.
Yeah.
My Please Don't Fail Me phone. And then what just happened? Oh, I figured it out now. And then I'm really interested in the Harakiri. That Blades of Honor is another one I'm interested in, and the Kingdoms Forlorn. Those are kind of some of the stuff I'm kind of really looking forward to. I'm not going to tell you anything about them because all I am doing is seeing them on my Kickstarter. But I do know what vein and what itch they scratch. So I'm pretty excited for seeing when these actually come and stuff like that.
Wait, so yours isn't Seventh Citadel? It's all of them?
Well, I didn't know that. I have anticipated for next year. I didn't have not delivered.
So there were two lists. There was upcoming games not launched.
I have something
and upcoming games not delivered.
I didn't get the delivered one. I didn't see that.
He didn't read that far out. This is what I deal with playing games with him. He reads about half the card. I can do this, right? Like, did you read the whole
Well, I
card?
had Seven Citadel prepared for you, so I don't got the other ones, unfortunately.
That's all right.
That's fine.
Sometimes. So those are just some of the games I'm interested in coming out. I mean, and also, of course, Madara's second act. I'm really excited for. He's going to play that with me. Nope.
I'll skip that one.
Never going to play it with me. So, and of course, the Gambler's Chest from Kingdom Death Monster. We will be delivering to my house. We'll be doing unboxing. We'll make all the minis. We'll paint them all, and we'll play that hopefully within a day.
Yep.
I might take a week off when that game arrives.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, so Mike, go ahead. Now that I've probably listed off about.
Mike already went.
Oh, did he?
Already went, dude.
I wasn't listening.
No,
All right,
Colin.
Colin, why don't you go?
Stop hitting your guess. That's what your
Fine,
wife
take the
said.
throw at you. There you go.
Okay.
Whoa, what?
I
So first Bairnt hits his guess, and then he puts his children behind the wall.
That's fake news. I'm behind the wall.
I don't know if you heard any of that conversation.
gosh.
We're seeing a pattern here. We're seeing a pattern.
Okay, so I didn't just have one or two or three or four. I had 6 games.
Yeah, he showed me his list, so I'm getting.
Here's the deal. I'm not gonna
That's what you get.
message me back
So-
saying that he wanted their pictures. I don't understand why. It's not that hard. I'm just kidding, Steve. Okay, so I love boss battlers. I'm finding out, unlike Town Folk Tussle, that's one exception. But I have loved so many boss battlers. So I have Monster Hunter and Primal, both that I watched Mike stuff on, and oh my gosh, I am so pumped for those.
Well, you didn't watch me do Monster Hunter because I didn't cover that.
Oh, you didn't do Monster Hunter. You did Primal. Who did Monster? I don't know. Anyway,
I love Primal. I love Primal.
Oh my gosh, Primal was awesome. Iridia we already talked about. I am super excited for the new Sleeping Gods because I think he took a lot of the ideas, just like with Tainted Grail, where there's lots of fun in that game, but also a lot of in Sleeping Gods, and I think he kind of helped. And the combat looks way cooler with the card play and everything too. So I'm really excited for that one. I'm really excited for the Unsettled expansion.
Yeah.
I want more planets. I've now played all of them, so I just want more. That's actually why I'm so excited for ISS Vanguard, is because I just want to explore planets. I know it might not be the greatest, but who cares? I will just, for whatever reason, that just speaks to me to just explore planets and see what's there. I love it. And then the last one I had on here was Soul Raiders. That was another one, Mike, I think I watched you play on. And I loved that one. For whatever reason, I love the idea of the card system. Yeah. And you're moving through the cards, and it kind of made me think of, well, it looked a little bit like Seventh Continent, but in a much smaller area, and you're exploring. And that's one that I can play and then I can easily sell after when I'm done, or give it to Bairnt.
I agree with everything he said over here.
Yeah, those were my six games. I looked. I have 41 games coming in Kickstarter. So yeah, that's why I picked 6. That's a pretty good percentage, right? 41. I didn't put those other ones on there.
That's okay. I had 0.
Yeah.
We came into this moment here.
All right, Canje, it's up to you.
For my upcoming games, I put one, but I just thought of another one. But the first one is Isofarian Guard. I believe I watched Rolling Solo do a preview of this one, and since that was first previewed, I was like sold. So I went all in on this, and yeah, I'm super pumped for this. Steve's talked about it, so don't need to go any further than that. My second one, which I just pulled up, was the Terraforming Mars, the dice game.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of Terraforming Mars. I love it. I think it's a great game. I know it's not a co-op game. I know it's competitive, but it just kind of scratches that itch that's in there. But when I saw the dice game added, I am not a fan of Ares Expedition. I'm not, but I just it just didn't. Ugh. But when I saw that they were coming out with the dice game, I was like, this is the perfect compact size of this big monstrous game, and so that's kind of my excited for.
But Ryan has a point. It's dice.
But-
Are you sure you want to do that?
I have settled into the fact that there's balance in the world, right? If I roll terribly, if I roll terribly, that means the rest of y'all get to roll natural 20s. So I'm willing to take that hit.
The board game universe. It's everybody else.
I'm willing to take that hit so that y'all can be successful in your gaming.
I really want to know, Canje, what did you not like about Ares? Because I mean, did you play Race for the Galaxy? I loved Ares Expedition.
I didn't play Race for the Galaxy. I haven't played that. I didn't like with Terraforming Mars. I love the draft. I love the chains of things. Okay. With Ares Expedition, it was like, okay, well, you could do this, but you can't do this, and it I just felt confined.
Okay, totally.
And so that's what turned it off for me.
Yeah. And I guess the reason why I like it so much is because I've played Race and I just was putting Terraforming Mars and Race together. And I love that idea because I love the phase idea where you're trying to guess what your opponents, or if you're playing cooperatively, like you play this phase, I'll play this phase. And we can, that was what I loved that part of it. So, but I totally understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I only played 3/4 of the game.
Yeah. Well, Robin played the rest of it for you. If I remember right. Oh, you're going to do this. You're going to do that.
So great. Here we are. I'm like, I'm going to draft this and I'm going to do this phase. Like, why would you do that phase? This phase so we can get this. Like, okay, now I'm going to try that. No, we just got to play these 2 cards over and over. We're going to win. Okay, production action. You're done. We win. Oh, it was a roller coaster. Well, if you want to talk about Robin has a hard time sometimes with certain games that they have a hard time winning. Like Robinson Crusoe. Yes.
And so and so that one she was just like, we have to win it once, Bairnt.
I'm
not listening to you.
Come to the table. Finally, we won. We text Colin or Polo Colin. Do we have to get to the end of the mission in order to do it good, or when we're on the boat, are we good? No, you gotta get to the end. You're lying, Colin. You're lying. I don't believe you. It was amazing. Oh, my wife's amazing. I love her so good. So good. All right, so let's hear who's next.
I think.
Okay,
I think we all went for that one.
Yeah, we all went for that one.
Oh, we did.
Good. That wraps up that category. So let's move on to the final category for the night. That's upcoming games that haven't launched yet. So things we really don't know a whole lot of information about. The Kickstarter is coming up, or it's going to be released sometime in the future. But we're looking forward to finding out more about it. So because let's see, who went last? Oh, Canje, you went last. So you can pick the first victim.
Do I say it or do I pick? Do I say my game? Or...
Either one.
You can pick yourself.
I pick myself? Okay, I'll pick myself then. Let's do that.
All right. What do you got?
Sankakushin. There's
I didn't know making up some words like what is he talking about?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. There you go. That's what I did. No, Sankakushin, I believe it's called the 5 Sacrifices. That's supposed to be coming out. That's supposed to be hitting Kickstarter. Like early Q1, Q2 of next year to go to Kickstarter. But they've been talking about it for about 3 years now. But the stuff that they've been releasing, the images that they've been showing, and what little they've released so far has really set up. Like I'm like, ooh, this sounds like this will be really cool. Where it's a world that shifts based on decisions you make. You don't have to. It feels like that there's a boss battler, but you can actually not fight the boss. You can talk him out of fighting. You can.
I love how. Wait. Colin got all excited. Barrett's like, who would ever do that? So
you saw the switch off. But you can. But that's the choice, though. That's the choice. Is that you can fight. You can fight the big bad. You can befriend the big bad. You can not fight the big bad, but make an enemy out of him to fight him later. It's very malleable, the story, and you get to build your own story the way that you want to. And so that really has me interested. I'm not a huge fan of the fan service stuff that comes with Japanese, with JRPG stuff. That's not my bag, but I do like a good story. Give me a good story, I can look past stuff. This is the reason why I love KDM. I build my own world and my own story, but it has that art, right? So this is my kind of huge nut launch waiting to spend a ton of money on. All right, I'm gonna go to. Let me go to Kim.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't put one, but I'm adding one. So I would say the one that you have it.
Oh, I have it. Okay, good. Okay, good.
I'd say season 3 of United, but I didn't initially put this because it might. I don't want to say it's more of the same. It's not. They're adding more to the game. I just don't know what it is, and I hope it's amazing. And we just keep having more United plays. So, yeah, that's it. Pretty much straightforward there.
Yeah, they always do some twist. So we'll find out what the twist is later. I'm sure, but
I hope it's good. But a part of me wonders, like, what else can they do in terms of?
Oh, I could tell you. I could tell you so many other things they could do. Oh yeah.
But other than like adding more characters with special abilities, like what if it's Galactus? Like, spoilers. Yeah, that was the video that you showed me. Like, what is he gonna do? That's so much. Like, that's gonna bring it to another level beyond where it's at for me. So we'll see. I'm very curious.
Give them the shield. Give her the Captain Britain the
worlds.
The shield.
Okay.
Should be amazing.
Okay.
Lots of stuff. Anyway, we'll find out.
Is
that the only one you have on here?
Well, because again, I'm not. I don't go into the Kickstarter. I don't do as much homework as you guys do. So pretty much my game knowledge is Steve saying, "Hey Kim, go check this out," and I'm like, "Okay." So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Cool.
Okay.
So yeah, Mike, right?
Yeah, so kind of like you, Kim, this was the hardest category for me. I don't really pay any attention to like games that haven't even launched yet because there's way too many games that are like coming out or delivering or all that kind of stuff. So first, an Audible, because everyone else had like at least 2 games once in the list. I'm waiting for let's see who my fans in the chat are. I'm waiting for cooperative version of the Jean-Claude Van Damme 1995 classic Sudden Death. I want to. Has anybody seen this movie?
Yes, I've seen it.
Okay, there we go.
I've seen it.
I want to fight someone dressed as a mascot in a kitchen. I want to go in as the goalie to save the game so the entire stadium doesn't explode. I want to fight on the top of the stadium with the helicopters and my child in jeopardy. Let's go! Sudden Death board game. Calling it now.
You're calling that one before Running Man?
Oh, let's go Running Man. I'm coming.
Oh my gosh, I want the guy to come out with the big light suits all over him.
Yes. Sub-Zero is now Lane Zero. Sorry, but okay. Actual game that I picked. It's the only one that like. Steve was like, "Hey, aren't you excited about this game?" I was like, "That game is coming out next. Crowdfunding next year." I remember what it's called now. It's the Chip Theory one. That's not
Elder Scrolls.
Yeah,
Elder Scrolls.
There you go. I've heard from a few people that have seen stuff and even played early builds. I won't say who they are because I don't think they were supposed to tell me that they played early builds. But I've heard from people that it's like Too Many Bones, but better than Too Many Bones. And yeah. So if you don't like Too Many Bones, that's not going to mean much. But for the massive number of people who disagree with people who just said, So I'm excited for it, and I had to pick something. So there you go. All right, not picking Canje next. Forget that guy. Let's go to Colin.
The thing that worries me about it is I'm a huge fan of the world of Tamriel. Like the Elder Scrolls is a big IP game for me. It's like as big as World of Warcraft for me. So I get nervous. I don't like Too Many Bones, so I'm super nervous about this. And if you're like, it's like Too Many Bones, I'm like, oh.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, already it seems to be very un-Elder Scrolls to me, so I'm just kind of giving that up.
Got it.
Too, you know, and it's if it's a good game,
yeah, fair enough.
We already have the Skyrim board game, you know what I mean? Like, whatever, it's fine.
Fair enough.
But I hear you. I do hear you.
What you got, Colin?
All right. So I'm terrible at knowing new games too, just like everybody
else.
else.
Mine if you want.
No, I got one. I got one.
You do.
Steve gave me all these lists of games, and there's one that I'd heard of, and it's called Stone Saga.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's from the same people that made Star of Icarios.
Yeah.
And they made Mythwind, which hasn't come out yet. That's another one that I've backed, which I'm actually interested in because it's one that, you don't have to fight everything in it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm just telling you.
No, that's
okay,
great.
but that's Mythwind. Stone Saga, though, I actually don't know much about it other than there's some sort of crafting involved and you're kind of creating a world. But the art, I'm a sucker for art. If you think of Unsettled, when you play Unsettled, this type of art is kind of what it reminds me of, and it just immediately draws me in.
Yeah.
And so I love all the art that I've seen with Stone Saga, but I have no idea how the game's going to play. So I'm interested to see what the game's going to be like, but the art is giving me that good pull. So that's for me is Stone Saga.
Yeah, that's a good choice. This one also interests me for sure. I can't wait to see more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's Q1 even, and they don't have a ton out about it yet, but I think it's Q. I don't know. I don't really know.
I saw they sent me an early rule book.
Oh.
Yeah, we're covering it.
It looked pretty cool. Yeah, Steve, are you the one covering it?
Yeah,
or
I'll be
Jason?
covering
I
it.
forget.
Hmm?
Yeah, Steve's doing it. So yeah,
we'll
it
be
looked
covering
pretty
Steve.
good to me.
So we'll be covering it, Steve. Sure.
I knew that they had emailed me and I didn't cover it. That's how I was like, it might be somebody else. We have a lot of team members.
6 of
At
them.
that
Someone
point,
will
it
do it.
emptied out of my mind,
Steve, did you read the rule book at all?
I skimmed through it. Yeah, it looked good. Looks good.
What type of game? Like, what type of game is it? What type is it?
Kinda like
Open world
exploratory
exploration
narrative
crafting.
survival.
It's yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that
Okay.
just
Yeah,
what
with
he said?
crafting.
Yeah, it is. You got
Okay.
it. You got to figure it out.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, then I'll hand it over to Steve. Steve, I'm gonna do yours.
Okay. So, I have to echo what Kim said. Of course, Marvel United season
See,
3.
I
Very
just-
excited about that.
I just steal all your answers.
I know.
Unless I have a red pen and I'm telling you you're wrong, then I'm like, I'll steal it. Oh.
So that's definitely on there for sure. But I wanted to call out another game that technically launched this past year, but got canceled and is going to be relaunched, and it's got revamped as well. And that one is Leviathan Wilds.
All right, I'm with you. Never mind. I'm changing my answer. That's it.
Yeah, this game is fantastic. It is
Yes,
so
yeah.
fun. It's basically Shadows of the Colossus in board game form, honestly. The cooperation's great. Each Leviathan plays very differently. It's got a fun little I don't really use the word gimmick, but it's got a fun little like strategy. You have to approach them differently. And I love the changes they've done with this already. It looks really great. So I'm very much looking forward to this one.
Do you guys know why I didn't back the or didn't?
It wasn't making enough money, so they're retooling some things, trying to advertise it more, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I couldn't remember why because I initially backed it and then I saw it canceled. I wasn't sure what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different now too, just FYI, but it looks really good, honestly.
Yeah.
So
I looked awesome before. So
yeah, Leviathan Wilds. Let's move on to Bairnt.
Well, I have a similar story to your sad story there, Steve. Mine was from one that originally hit Kickstarter last year but failed. And he's going back, retooling it, trying to find marketing and
I
things
know.
like that. Called
Rogue one. Yeah.
Rogue Angels, yep.
This almost could have been my hidden gem and my big surprise. It could have been all of those, all mixed in one. I was floored by what this guy is planning with this game. His story is super awesome. The idea of it's gonna be a dungeon crawler, but the one thing, the box is the ship. I thought that was amazing.
the box is the ship.
Yeah, so that's part of it.
cool.
And then the board itself is really they're just using the book. It's a book thing, so it's
I
not going to
love
be
the
like
book thing.
tiles over the place.
Yes.
You have you pick a character. That character has cards. The cards kind of go up and down a system, not similar to the battle flow system, but not in the same way. As you rest, the cards come back to you a little bit, and your cards keep changing. You can, as you get more powerful, or you get different. You go down you can choose to answer questions in the storybook that then give you different ways your character progresses. And so you might get there's 4 different affinities, I guess you could say, and courage and intelligence, things like this. And you'll get little tokens for those that can then enhance some of the cards you have based on what they are. And then on top of that, you're going to be going through the book and getting potential stickers that are going to be removable this time. That was the other thing that can change those. So say your character's kind of going down an intelligence path more than anything else, you can start getting you can start upgrading your cards to be able to work with that type of system that you're building your character on, which is really neat. It's got that neat little system. Not to mention the choices in the story. There's not like should we save this person or should we kill this person? It's like they're all just kind of neutral almost things. And they're, depending on what you do, is going to really manipulate how the game goes. You might be going down into mission 4 instead of mission 5 because you decide to save the person who actually you found out was like the despot of this whole group and is now started an uprising. So maybe you shouldn't have saved him because, oh no, we started an uprising. Instead, you should have killed him, which he was asking for forgiveness kind of thing. So they really make you, the choices matter in this game, depending on where you go. He's got this whole thing mapped out as to he showed me like kind of the story arcs and branching things, and it's really looking really cool. He's also going to be moving away from standees for the heroes, and he's going to make those kind of like a Gloomhaven approach where you got miniatures for the heroes, but the standees will still be the enemies. And he's got a whole enemy AI deck, but it's not a big deck. It's usually just 1 or 2 cards that kind of flips back and forth. And the AI work and the monsters actually do work and are actually they're good enough to take us down. Steve, myself, and Canje have played this a couple times, and we didn't make it through a mission. We barely made it through a couple missions. So it's like the threat of not making it is always there, and it's really cool. They do have another system they have a decoding system of the doors where you're pulling little tokens out of a bag to try to unlock certain doors. And then when actually you use those tokens, they don't go back in the bag. So you have like 4 different colors. And so if you're using it, if you're drawing them out, you don't want certain colors to come out multiple times because you've already used some of the colors. So it's really cool. I'm going to be getting advanced copy, and you're going to play it with me live on the channel. And it's going to be amazing. This is something that I was super bummed didn't fund, and I can hardly wait for this to come back. Emil has worked really hard at this game, and I am super pumped. This is one of those dream space games that I've been looking forward for a long, long time.
Yeah, we're going to be covering this one as well, so you get a chance to play it. It is a really fun game. I agree with everything Bairnt said. It is. We had a blast playing on TTS. We played, 3 or 4 times now? TTS? Mm-hmm. Every single time's been a blast. So
yeah, it's been fun.
100%.
Great choice.
Awesome.
I always have great choices.
Yes, Art song. Great choice there.
Oh, man.
Ryan has a question. If you want to pull it up for Colin and Bairnt.
Yeah, we've got a question here. Was Malia on your list, Colin and Bairnt?
Malia. I've never even heard of it.
So that's a new.
Didn't you play that, Steve?
Yeah, I played that one. Yep.
Hey, did we play that with you?
Yeah, you played with me.
Yes, we did.
With you? Is that the one that had the stealth mechanic?
Yes, the one that Canje is like, no stealth.
If there's dice and you have stealth, I don't want to play it. I don't.
The guy just runs it. I was going to go. I'm behind the pole.
I tried to roll for stealth and I failed. You should expect this from me.
We told you to stay outside the building.
You could just watch them. You're in the back. In the back.
They were taking too long.
Yeah, that was a cool game. Honestly, it's got a lot going on in it. It's like everything in the kitchen sink in one box.
Yeah,
it's a lot of iconography, and it had to do that to make it fit all the kitchen sink in it. So it's got a little bit of a learning curve to it, I would say, and you really need a dedicated group to play it. But man, if you did, it'd be really fun. There's a lot of cool stuff going on in that game.
If the chat's probably asking us about certain games, like he said, he has 41 coming this year. I've got about probably the same, and we don't usually back the same stuff anymore. So with all the games coming, there's sometimes we don't really keep up with every single thing that's coming through. Though as they start getting closer to delivery, we usually get pretty excited about what's coming. So if that one is like coming really soon, we might actually have it. One of us must have it out.
I don't.
Maybe I did. I must back this one.
Cool.
And for someone who asked me about Zarehua, it wasn't on my list. It's still a fun game, but I love sandboxy games. As you can see, I like Hexplore more than that, and that wasn't on my list. It's just, and that delivered this year. It's not that I hated Hexplore and I love it. It's just more, it didn't make the list after I ran through everything. So, but I enjoyed that game. I think it's fun.
Yeah, is that tough?
That's a good choice. Cool. Yeah, I think that's probably going to end the chat or the top list for the year. So there's so many great games to pick from, and I could.
One of the problems we had this year was like we talked about this earlier, but just on our co-op chat was like right near the end here, 3 games dropped on us, and I haven't had a chance to play any of them, and any of these could have probably made a list or two.
Yeah.
So Aeon's Trespass, and lucky for Mike, he had the ability to play some ISS Vanguard. We still haven't had a chance to do that. So like three that almost could have made any of these lists, but we just haven't had a chance to give them a shot.
And Frosthaven, I haven't played that
Frosthaven,
yet.
exactly. I'm actually going to put that in 2023 because it hasn't arrived at my door yet.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, has anybody gotten that yet or no?
My friend Jerry got it, and that's why I could play it theoretically at some point.
Where's he?
He's right around us. He just got lucky. I don't know why he got it so early.
Did he just get the base game?
Usually he gets everything. I don't know.
Well, so
he's very much a Canje Bairnt type of guy. You know what I mean?
Come on, I do too.
Oh, and Colin, you're right. You're right.
I got the insert with it. So if you got any sort of insert with it, then you had to. You're in the.
He doesn't get inserts usually, so maybe that's why.
He probably just got.
No wonder I haven't got my copy yet.
Yeah.
Insert video.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, watching Peter Ruffle shuffle Marvel Champion cards was just in front of Terrence, and Terrence almost died. It was awesome.
Pretty amazing.
So what's Ruffle Shuffle when you bend the cards?
That's when he bent the cards.
Like you're
And
playing
he did
poker
he
or
went,
something.
and then did the bridge with the Marvel Champion.
That's called a riffle shuffle, Colin, not a ruffle shuffle.
Yeah, it's a
Want to see a truffle
Truffle
shuffle?
Yeah, riffle shuffle. There we go.
I'm not good at shuffling cards the pro way, so I do that too. I've just been told by people to stop doing it or they were going to kill me, so I stopped.
I do the layout.
I do a deal shuffle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Magic the Gathering deal.
Yeah, it's what you got to do, with these games. And my wife hates it, but that's what I do.
Yep. Cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining this chat. I know we've got a lot more content. I know Mike's got more videos of this nature coming out all the time. Probably 2 this week, I think, right?
I have my top 20 of games that actually came out this year next week. Today was top 20 games that I played this year but came out before this year. Last week was top 20 crowdfunding games. I covered, I was counting it, like 97 new to me games on the channel this year. I covered a lot of stuff.
Wow.
And then Peter and I will have a podcast with our top 20 games from the podcast. I don't know, in January or something.
Yep. So many things.
Lots of stuff.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. I got lucky to get a 5-minute channel update video.
Well, the way Mike plays games, it's already done. I mean, he's already played all of Eyes of Vanguard in about 10 minutes.
That's right.
Yeah, Bairnt, Colin, what do you guys got coming up?
Well, maybe we are now rethinking.
Now we want to play ISS Vanguard. Thanks, Mike.
So Wednesday we're supposed to do Oathsworn. It's not on the docket.
Yeah, maybe ISS Vanguard will show up.
We're gonna do that on Wednesday. We're gonna get together, play a game on Wednesday. That'll be the plan. I did a painting video earlier this afternoon. I was painting up some Aeon's Trespass.
He wasn't working again because he never works
on Mondays.
He never works,
and so that'll be coming up on Friday on the One Stop channel, and it'll also be hitting mine at the same time, in theory. I always give Mike a heart attack about Thursday afternoon.
It's not really a heart attack. I got so many random reviews. Like, I'm just trying to fit in stuff. Like, oh my gosh, all these games. I was like, I'll cover it this year.
I could probably put something in. No, it's uploading right now.
I've got it. I swear I've got it. Oh man, it's good.
And what you got, Derek, coming up?
I've got the Marvel United crossover campaign, which I'll be taking on Strife tomorrow, and then I'll be playing Frostpunk tomorrow night.
Good luck. You'll probably die, but that's okay.
Oh, I've died 4 times already.
Oh, never mind. That sounds about right.
And it's always because of the children dying.
Well, you and Steve made the children sleep outside.
No, Steve made the children sleep outside. I wasn't part of that game. I was
You guys think I leave them behind the wall?
You leave them outside.
Eric, the only time I've won that, fully by myself is the one play I recorded, and I happened to get just by chance the civilization that only starts with 2 children. I was like, yeah, I don't need to worry about you anymore. Just get your whole day there. It was great. I was like, I don't need kids. The future of our civilization. I care about the future of my belly right now.
So there, I'm doing that, and then Thursday, Steve and I have a chat to do for Marvel United Season 3.
Wednesday. We moved to Wednesday.
Wednesday, we have something to do for our chat for Season 3. Thursday, I'm doing something, I don't know what, and then I am gone until January. I'll be on a boat until January, and then I'll be back. My son and I are doing a father-son cruise together, so we're just going to go and hang out. And
That'd be awesome.
cool.
Are you going to play that boat song by Lonely Island while you're...
That's what I was thinking. It was in my head. I was like,
So, but that's for the remainder of the week. I think that's what I've got planned. There was something interesting before I pass it back. One thing I forgot to add that Mike did get me interested to play was Robomon. I'm interested to see that because I want to hear it. It has to be an audio that Mike talk about that he about to catch them hands, and I need to see that happen. But anyway, that's what I got coming for the rest of the week, and then I'm gone until January, and then I'll be back, and we've got tons of stuff to play. So, Steve and Kim, what I got going?
We got the Marvel United, of course, with you, and then got a little bit of break over the Christmas holiday there. We'll be back next week with more content. Probably Skyrim. Probably start that up. But if Deep Rock shows up, it should be here, I don't know, who knows when. Should be here right before the end of the year. That will also hit the channel, so it depends on when that arrives. But bounce between those games and continue with the crossover we have, so.
Yeah.
That should do it.
And then I don't know what my next quick stop is, but Bairnt, can you say hotel for me? And so yeah,
so good.
Yep.
Whatever
Cool.
said
Excellent. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you at the next stop.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.